Ralph Little, Will Miller, and Ricky Tomlinson.
Does it work? It works.
I'm not even in this. Why are you here? I don't know. You just put me in it. That's me royalties.
Get off the stage!
Come on, Ricky, come on.
Ricky, let's get you over.
Ricky Tomlinson.
Sit down, you lazy little git! Where do you want to go? Do you want to go in?
Thank you, sir.
It's weird how they just put me in it.
How have you blagged onto this stage?
I didn't ask to be on this.
Now listen,
And I'd love to be in the royal family, but I wanted it.
these two shows have been put together, for me anyway, because they just represent a great time period in history, wasn't it? That late 90s, early noughties that everybody loved. Everyone was happy. There was a lot of positive vibes. Let's start with 2 pints. What was it like to be part of?
I'm glad we started with that because I wasn't in the other one. 2 pints.
Can you do this bit and then go away?
Yeah, I'll leave you alone in a minute. I'm going to get a couple of pints myself. 2 pints, I got to tell you, was some of the best years you can have. Calling it work, me and him just pissing about every day, rehearsing and going to the pub whilst rehearsing, and then filming on a weekend and going out every weekend and just having the best time when you're young enough to still not get hangovers. Best time ever. What are you?
I mean, I think we still have the hangovers anyway. I tell you what, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? And you very rarely realise when things are good when you're living through them. But I look back now and I feel like the 90s was a good time, and the early noughties was
the best
a good time. And we were lucky enough, doing 2 pints, to be in our early 20s, living the kind of life that we were portraying on screen, but just having a laugh doing it. It's got to be, for basically it was 5 really best friends having a laugh on screen for like 7 years. You can't ask for more than that.
And also saying things that nobody else was saying on telly. We were getting away with stuff. And we're going, can we say that?
Stuff like what?
Well, I can't say it now. I'd be cancelled if I said it.
Go on, everyone's filming, say it. What do you want to say?
I'm alright, you say it.
I can't remember any of it.
Me neither.
Shall we move on to Ricky?
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't give a shit, he'll say it.
Ricky, tell me about when the role came up for Jim Royal in the royal family. Was it an instant yes?
Yeah, but obviously I've got no background in acting, but you've seen me on the screen, so you know that's true. And I don't know whether you know this, and I'm being serious now. I am the last political prisoner to be released in this country. The last one, and we got pardoned after 47 years. So I bumped into it, the acting game. I bumped into it, and here's how little I knew about it. I was in the Groucho Club, and everyone in show business was there. And I'm only 5'9". There was a fella there smaller than me, and he had a beard and a ponytail. And he looked lost, and I said to him, "Are you in show business?" And before he could answer, Roland Joffe, the director, came over and said, "Rick, I'd like you to meet Robert De Niro." And I said to him, "Are you in show?" But anyway, listen, it's all about luck. It's all about luck. I bumped in, was sent away for an audition under a phony name because my own name was still over all the still in all the papers. Still in all the papers for leading the building strike in 1972. And so when I got the audition, I had a fallout with the fella, and the fella said to me, "I know who you are." And I said, "Oh, piss off." But he gave me the job, and it was in a play set in Newcastle called United Kingdom. And although I'd never done anything, I was the lead in it. And it got rave reviews, and the rest they say is history, you know. So you just play your luck, don't you? Play your luck.
We should point out as well, for those of you who've not been in the panel seats so far, we have a microphone here for guest questions. If people want to ask any questions, just come up to the microphone, form a queue behind, and we will get to as many as we can within this session. So please don't be shy, come up here. Will, I hate to ask you about the royal family because I don't want to touch on that.
No, ask him about the royal family. He's an expert. Go on.
I just wanted to ask, did you watch it? Were you a fan of the royal family? Did you appreciate it?
Royal Family was one of them shows. It was groundbreaking because it was single camera comedy. Ours was audience sitcom, and it was when audience sitcom went from being funny and cool to unfunny and cool because of the royal family. Because everyone went, "What is this? This is so different," and it's just people watching telly. That's what everyone said. But I think everyone related to it, and it was genius, and it opened the world to non-audience sitcom. So it was sort of the death of sitcom was the start of the royal family, and it was. I mean, I think it's one of the best comedies ever. I mean, that and Only Fools and Horses are up there, you know what I mean?
When I first met Will for a read-through,
You don't have to tell this story.
I feel like I should.
No one wants to know. You don't want to know what I did to Ralph on the read-through.
Shall I save that for the tour?
Yes.
All right, I won't tell that story. I'll save it for people who come to the tour and are over a certain age.
I want one of you to make him answer that question. Let's have the first audience question, please.
This is to Ricky. So in 2023 you did a cameo for What Was My Fiancé Ever. We got married on the 25th of March.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Obviously I want to say thank you for doing that for me. But my main question is, if you were given the opportunity, would you bring Mike Bassett back?
There's one written about Mike Bassett, and it's where we go to a nursing home, and Mike Bassett's in the nursing home, and he persuaded him to come back and take on the England job again. And then for whatever happens at the last minute, the money's dried up, so it's still in abeyance. That could still come back. So Mike Bassett could still come back.
So how are we going to play 4-4-2?
England are going to play 4-4-2.
That's the only defence you can play. 4-4-2 or nothing. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ricky.
That's why Liverpool won the league every year. 4-4-2.
That's a brave thing to say in Manchester, isn't it? To talk about that. He's a brave man, but we'll all forgive him. It'll be all right. Let's have your questions.
Hello, my name is Declan, and my first question is for Will Mellor specifically. So
Yes.
I've just left a job at Cotton Traders.
All right.
And I was just wondering...
Is it because they've got no money left after they've paid in for all this?
They're doing cutbacks because I charge that much.
I'm not going to lie, Will, I was a bit sick of seeing your face by the
Sorry,
end.
Brad. Sorry.
It's alright, it's alright.
You want to try working with him for 20 odd years?
But I was wondering, just before my question about the royal family, if you wouldn't mind saying hello to Marie and all the girls at Dalton Park Cotton Traders.
All right. Hello, Maria and all the girls at Dawn Park Cotton Traders. Hello. I bet you're sick of seeing my face and all.
Are you representing today? You've got I've got cotton traders up on. Hey, look at that.
Underpants.
And underpants. I've just got my Gucci stuff on. I've got to deal with them.
Bollocks.
No, I haven't. Bollocks.
Well, thank you very much for that. So, my question is now about the royal family. So, what was the most difficult scene to film and why?
The most difficult scene was the one where the baby's being born on Christmas Day. And the cameraman, some of these older people here will remember Coronation Street years ago. The main family in Coronation Street was Stan and Hilda Ogden. Do you remember? Stan and Hilda Ogden. Well, Stan Ogden's son was the cameraman. He was the cameraman filming that scene. And all them tears were real. Caroline was crying because she had no children. She adored children. She wanted children. She didn't have any children. I was crying because when I was having a rough time, when I'd just come out of prison, my daughter was born on Christmas Day. So it brought all them memories flooding back. And as I say, and it was actually the cameraman who shouted, "Cut!" Not the director, it was the cameraman. And it was absolutely amazing. The tears were real. And Stan Ogden's lad said, "I've been a cameraman, a top jolly cameraman, for 14 years." He said, "And that's it. I'm calling a cut." Not the director, which was Caroline. And that was it. But we had a wonderful... Caroline Aherne was amazing. But my favourite Nana was absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to tell you something now, I hope you don't take offence. I hope you don't take offence, but Nana had a great sense of humour. And we had a scene where she's bent over like that, and she's walking up the corridor, and Caroline said, help her, help her. So I'm behind her, I'm on top of her like that. I'm walking along and I said, do you know what, Nana? I'd love to give you one. She never batted an eyelid, she said, I wish you would.
And so he did. And that's why it was the hardest scene to film. For me, the hardest scene was Mambo number 5. Even though I'm barely in it, I just happened to be there. I come in at the end of it. Him and Twiggy stripping the wallpaper to Mambo. Just chaos, carnage, because neither of them knew the song. So I'm of that age, and I'm like, a little bit of Erica, I know the whole song. He doesn't know any of the words. He can't be bothered learning them, right? So they're playing the song, and he's got his pants hanging down off his arse, his bum cracked like this. And Caroline went, he did it a couple of times, and Caroline went, Ricky, could you sing along? And he went, sure. And of course he doesn't know any of the words, so all he did for the entire time was go, Mambo number 5! Mambo number 5! And that was it, it killed me. Just laughed the entire time. It was hard.
But you know what? It's amazing. It's all about luck at the lads, I'll tell you. And I was at an award ceremony in Granada, and I was with my wife. And my wife is a Bootle girl. She's from Bootle. And you can always tell a Bootle girl, but you can't tell her bloody much, I'm telling you. And she said to me, will you go and get me a little bit of Buffy? And I went, yeah, okay. So I went and got the cardboard plate, got a little bit of cheese up, a few different little biscuits. And there was a young girl in front of me, and it was my fault. I wasn't watching what I was doing. And I banged into her, and she went flying through the air. And she turned over on her back, and she's lying on her back on the floor. And she looked at me and she went, oh, you're my dad, aren't you? And I went back to Rita and I said, there's a girl there, said she's got mental health problems. She thinks I'm a dad. When we got home at midnight, there was a phone call. Get to Granada Studios tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We went, and it was the girl I knocked over was Caroline Ahern, and there was the rest of the bloody cast. That just shows you, doesn't it? You know, yeah.
Just talking about difficult scenes, Will, you worked with such a funny cast of very talented people. You must have been making each other laugh a lot on set. Were there any scenes that were actually difficult to get done because you were all stiff this?
The most famous scene is there was a scene that took us a lot longer than it should have, and it's hard to say this here, there's young people present, but I had to do an impression of Donna's orgasm noise, and I had to sort of say, this is happening, and I'm saying it to Ralph in this scene, and I'm saying, the thing is, when she orgasms, she does this, like that, right?
Except he's rehearsed it differently all week. So every week he's going, when she orgasms, she makes a noise like this, and he's sort of going, ooh, or whatever. So I'm not knowing what to expect. And then we're in, the cameras are rolling, there's a whole audience in, and he goes,
when she orgasms, she does this, and he just nothing,
gone.
And Sheridan's crying, Ralph's crying, laughing, and the thing is, all the audience laughing. When we've done it 7 or 8 times, they're going, listen, we're going to run out of time of shooting this, you need to get it right, and I was like, it's not, he's laughing! So I was going, go on, and his tears were in the... So in the end, he had to get everyone off the set, and they had to do it to nobody.
I got thrown out of the pub.
So I had to do it so no one reacted. So when you see it out there, it's just me on my own in that pub with just a shot of me. It went on for ages and ages. But it happened a lot. Sheridan found one of my wife's hairs in the crack of my arse once. On set. She had to examine Gazzy's bum because he thought he had cancer, it was piles. So she's got these glasses on, she's looking. And then, honestly, from the audience went, what's that? And it was one of my wife's hairs off one of her wigs. Out of my arse. I said, how's it got in your arse?
Why was it in there?
I don't know.
But you know Caroline Ahern?
Answers on a postcard.
On the set, Caroline was in charge. She was in charge and she'd watch the rushes, and if they weren't right, then she'd get you back in. And I'll never forget, it was a Friday night, and it's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting with my wife and we're watching the telly, and the phone goes. I said, hello. She said, is that you, Ricky? I said, yeah. She said, can you get to Granada in the morning for 9 o'clock? I said, yeah, why? She said, there's a fault with the rushes. We've just had a look at the rushes and there's a fault. And we'll have to put it right before it goes out. So I said, yeah, okay. So I went there the next morning, they've just here in the studio with Craig Cash and a little screen, and she said, I'm going to play the scene and I'll show you what's wrong. I said, well, tell me. And if it's the lines, I'll redo them. She said, no, I'd rather show you, you know. So I said, okay, so it's the scene where I've got my 2 toes are bandaged and I'm going up the stairs and all I've got on is my underpants and my vest.
Oh no.
And so...
It's me and Craig carrying you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's when me and Dave are carrying you up the stairs.
They're carrying me up the stairs, so she's playing the scene and she said, can you see what the fault is? And I've just got my undies on and my vest. And she said, can you see what's wrong? I said, no. She said, have a look and you know them. Can you see the fault? No. I said, no. She said, have a look closer. I said, what is it? She said, your bollocks are hanging out.
They had to pay for special effects
To get them
to remove them from the... This is genuine for real. There was a special effects budget on the royal family that was specifically for Ricky Thomas's testicles.
It would have been cheaper to get my testicles removed.
Absolutely true. The thing is, it only cost them about 20p because there wasn't a lot to...
We have a line of questions. I want to get through as many as we can.
Sorry.
Let's have your question here.
My mum, she's a huge fan of your shows. Can you give her a shout out and some tips on how to be funny?
What's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah, love you. Where is she?
Hello,
Bless
Sarah.
you. Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
Thanks for supporting the shows. How to be funny.
Could we ask you then, Sarah? No, send him up. I'll sit here, go there. Tell him.
Oh, Philip, don't embarrass me. Yeah. How to be funny, Sarah? I don't know. Accidentally having your bollocks hanging out of you all the time seems to...
That was really bad.
Keep it out, get him out.
There's a good shout. I don't know, anyone?
It's hard because we work with scripts, so we're very lucky that we work with very funny writers. So the stuff that we've done on screen that you've seen has all been scripted, and then sometimes we play around with it and come up with new things. But you got to give the sort of nod to the people who write these things, because Caroline Ahern especially was an amazing Italian comedy writer, genius.
I think you're all very humble as well. You did a great job with all of your performances. Thank you very much for your question.
Cheers, mate.
Let's have the next gentleman.
Hi, Sarah.
Give us your question.
Hi, I'm Kenny from Chester. This is a question mainly at you, Will.
Yeah.
But it's aimed at all of you. It's more of a question from my cousin. She was out shopping, and her husband, who is my main cousin, got mistaken for Will.
Right, have you got a picture?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not a good-looking guy, is he?
Got a few of these.
He's not a good-looking guy.
So
Was he shoplifting?
the main question.
Is your cousin Lee Mack?
The main question.
Go on. Let's have a look.
Oh, is that? It's
not too bad.
Why is his face so red?
Oh, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, actually. I can see you've got away with murder there.
He's had a few more pies.
You've got away with murder. Oh, I don't know.
But the main question to it: where is the most embarrassing places you've all been noticed?
Where we are now, actually, the river
Pretty much, yeah. I told this on our podcast.
This is a terrible one.
This is true. This is about 4 months ago. It's not that long ago, honestly. And well, this has happened a lot in life. So one of the first times I ever got recognised was on a train. We'd done the Royal Family. I wasn't getting recognised that much, right? But we'd done the Royal Family, and it was starting to get quite big. And I'm on a train from London. I've been to an audition back to Manchester because I grew up in Bury. And I'm on the train. I was just sitting like that. I'm asleep on the train, knackered, like this. Suddenly, I feel this on my shoulders. I'm like, what's going on? Somebody recognised me asleep, drooling all down my shoulder, shook me awake and gone, "Hiya, can I get an autograph?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess so, but tip for anyone, no matter who you recognise, don't shake them awake. That's not considered polite. So that was a weird one. But about 4 months ago, I was in a pub, and I was like, oh my God, I'm desperate for
Touching cloth.
You know when you're touching cloth, and it's like, okay, I'm turtling at this point, crowning, and I was just like, oh god, I've got to go. So then I find the toilet, and as I walk in, this guy's walking out, and he's like, hey mate, and I was like, hi, and he's like, oh, I'm a big fan, and I'm like, oh thanks mate, but I'm sweating, and I'm like, I'm so sorry to do this, but can we do this? I'm really desperate for the toilet, and he's like, oh okay, and he holds the door open for me, and I walk into the toilet, and then he watches me. I'm a bit like, I can't pretend to go to the urinal, I'm gonna have to go into a cubicle. So I go in a cubicle, and I'm like, oh, the relief. Anyway, I'm in there 2 minutes, and I just hit knock on the cubicle door. Hi mate, just wondering if I can get that autograph and a selfie. I said I'm having a shit! So that's probably the strangest time I've ever been recognised yet.
In the urinals is always one that looks like...
somebody in that happens all the time.
Hey.
And you go,
I won't shake your hand.
No.
You get that one, I won't shake your hand.
I've had this, not I won't shake your hand. I've had this, it's like, alright mate, I'm a big fan. I'm like, oh thank you, that's really kind of you. And they're having a right good old walk. And then they finish, and you're still at the urinal, and they go, anyway mate, pleasure, nice to meet you. And I'm like, I don't want to shake your hand.
It happens a lot. It's
It
fun.
happens a lot at urinals, for sure.
Thanks
So there you go, tip for anyone, if you're at a urinal, wash your hands before you try and shake somebody's hand.
Thanks a lot. Last bit of it for a while is, can I just have a quick hello too, because her name's Vicky.
Oh, she's not in the room?
No.
Hi Vicky, it's just me, Will, Ralph and Ricky.
Hi, Vicky.
Vicky. Hello, Vic.
Thank you for your question, and Ralph, I still have that autograph. I'm delighted.
Oh yeah, you got that autograph. I thought it was very kind of you to wait and not polite me in the door.
Can we have the next question, please?
Love the jumper, and you've been to the tour.
Show everyone
He's got the 2 pints.
The two parts of the Ralph tour.
Somebody's been to the tour, everybody. We're on again in November. Come along.
November Nelson's tour.
Come along.
Please decide what it is.
Brilliant. You've won the round already.
There you go.
Well, this is what I was going to say before I asked you the question. I came to see you on tour last year in Scunthorpe, and someone wrote into you guys using my name. And it wasn't me, I didn't say it, and you read it out on stage.
What was it?
No.
Without reading the question, the answers were, shiver me timbers or ahoy matey.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we can't go into that now. We'll come to the tour if you want to find out about that.
We had some terrible ones like that because we go on the tour. We do our podcast tour is 2 pints of Will and Ralph. We've done 2 tours. We've got another one in November, but we do a bit where it's like people write in stories, or we have a Q&A moment, and we have lots of audience participation, and the stories that we get are unbelievable. And there was one that actually stitched somebody else up who was a disabled guy. Do you remember? He was non-verbal disabled guy, and one of his carers had stitched up and said, is it wrong that I'm looking at porn?
I have fantasies about my mum.
I have fantasies about my mum.
This was his carer that wrote that in.
And we read it out and we was going, it's wrong. And then we found out it was a non-verbal disabled guy that they'd stitched up. Who is he?
So our apologies for you getting stitched up.
You got stitched up. It happens a lot. And people just stitch people up. So we just read it out. We don't know.
Please come along though. Come along again though. We'll clear it up.
Yeah, come along, mate.
Guys, thank you for that. Thank
You're
you.
all right, mate.
Thank
Cheers,
you
mate.
so much. We are out of time pretty much.
Oh, no, we got it.
Oh, come on, we've got to see this one.
Come on, here's me, mate. Come on.
Come on.
Thanks, Will.
What is this, Dr. Robotnik?
It is.
So, hey, do some of your impressions. Come on.
Will and Rob, snooping as usual, I see. I know that the Will and Ralph are doing a tour. How are you going to get it on, and which other places do you want them to go next? And also, my question is for Ricky. What's the hardest moment you've ever done for acting? And what's your quote to help new actors come into acting?
What I'm sorry, Mr. President.
What was your hardest moment as an actor, and what advice would you give to anyone coming through to be an actor?
Thanks, Ralph.
Anyone who wants to get into acting, they just keep writing away for auditions, go to auditions, and if you say one of them don't say, I've done everything, I've been in this, that and the other, but they won't know any a bottle. Have loads of ball and go in there and do it. I've had no experience whatsoever, and I've worked with the best film director in the world. I've done 2 movies with Ken Loach. I've done a movie with Roland Joffe. I've worked with some of the biggest stars in the world, like De Niro and Samuel Jackson. It's the look of the game. It's the look of the game. If you've got the balls to go and have a go, it's like shooting the ball into the net. If you shoot 20 times, one of them bound to go.
Well, that's exactly. Everybody who's made it has needed a bit of luck. All of us. You do need a bit of luck, but you don't get that luck unless you put yourself out there. You go to a local drama group, or you do local drama theatres, you go to all. You have to have a bit of luck, but you've got to put yourself in a position to capitalise.
The only thing is, I miss the romantic lead parts now.
Yeah, you're definitely hitting that right age.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid.
Ever since your balls fell out, there was fingers for you.
The phone calls have been coming in. We've heard about those fabulous balls on the Royal Family. We've got a Hugh Grant role for you.
Thanks for your question, mate. Listen, you always bring a smile. I've seen this lad at probably 6 or 7 Comic Cons I've done. He always looks great, and he's a great guy. He's always happy. Such a positive person. It's always nice to see you.
Really good to see you, mate. Thank you. A little shout out to Kian there on the front row. He was my first autograph today.
Yeah, rocking the blinking
Legend.
over the necklace, lad.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, on behalf of everybody
We've
here,
not got time for Freddie Mercury.
I'm afraid we've got to move it on. I'm so sorry, guys, but thank you so much on behalf of everybody for the laughs up here on stage and the laughs down the years. You've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks everybody for coming out today.